And here we go. StreamYard doing the bullshit again.
Did you hear? I just heard Nate Burleson's voice, but the video didn't go.
New York Revival, I'm in the building. Let's go.
Live with the Revival!
Let's go.
Let's go.
Worry, we'll fix it in post. Peace and blessings. It is your boy, Eli Rax, a.k.a. Vibes, and welcome to New York Revival, where it's not just sports, it's entertainment. And I'm here with my brothers, man. You guys know who they are. That's Mr. Glass Half Full of Nets.
Speed genius.
Go. Come on.
No pressure, Eli. Oh wait, are you muted or are you here?
I'm here with you. Am I
Okay.
here? Am I here with you?
No,
guys?
no
Here,
pressure,
here.
no pressure, Eli. I need a brand new intro.
Ooh,
He does.
Say
He
less.
does.
I could have said this at any point in the last
You
several
could've.
days, but I waited
You
until.
could have. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for putting me on the spot. And of course, my brother El Jefe, aka I gotta do a white jersey, blue jersey. You put me on the spot here. I got you. AKA white jersey, AKA blue jersey, AKA El Jefe is in the building, man. And of course, shout out to you. Yes, you the revivalists in the chat. Please hit that thumbs up, share, and subscribe. That is so important. We do appreciate all the support, guys. We on all streaming platforms because when we was in the airport having our flight delayed twice, everybody was like, man, are you on streaming platforms? Yes, we are. Spotify, iTunes, all of it. We're on all of it.
Leave your comments. Leave your ratings. Please. It all help.
Follow, please, man. Guys, don't forget we have a special guest in the building, of course. But first, let's go around the room, man. Let me start with El Jefe. Jefe, I'm gonna give you that new intro. Consider it done. And you know what? You're gonna fly out next week, so we'll have a special guest filling in for you as you
Okay,
fly out.
that buys you some more time. Yeah,
it buys me a little bit more time, but I'll have something ready to go when you
more
get back.
time than I just gave you. That's for sure.
Yes, on the fly. Thank you, brother. I appreciate.
Well,
you.
you're so
I'm
good on the fly. Everything you do is on the fly. So that's actually a compliment because I was like he could do anything. See how I spun that?
I like that.
No, but
Look at that.
I've just been flying high since Green Bay. In Jedi, thank you for that comment, man. Like that was just one of the best days you can imagine. And it was like almost like a full 20 hours, right? If you think about getting up at 3 a.m. and then not back at the hotel until midnight, that's a full day of nonstop action. And like that's pretty rare to just go pole to pole, nonstop.
At the end
action.
of the night, yeah. At the end of the night, I saw your face and just like I got nothing left in me. I got nothing. Like he had nothing.
I mean, you saw in the video, I'm not a morning person, so I had to. I'm terrible. Like Eli, you're built for that, right? Like
Yes.
you are wired for that. And Spiro clearly had the most energy in the morning of everybody.
I have no idea how.
But I just ran.
idea.
Spee saw it on my face. I just ran out of gas, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I need
Like,
to.
are we going out for drinks after this? Or and I look to see Jeff look at me like disgust. Are you kidding me? No.
Which you know how down bad I have to be to say no to that.
I know. That's why I was like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Big dog, man. How was your week, man? And we'll get the special guest in, of course.
I mean, Jeff took it all. You know, it just was so surreal. And coming back on cloud 9, just to see the Giants finish up the draft, you know, in great fashion. I was the weekend couldn't have gone better from Thursday on. And you know, now I'm here talking about with my boys again. And we have an awesome guest to come wrap this whole draft thing up with us.
Now, guys, listen, I could go through my week, but you guys won't care. In fact, you probably saw it a little bit there.
Yeah.
And I can piggyback my brothers, and we'll do that in the later of the show because, guys, we have a special guest in the building.
Mm-hmm.
The first time he was on this show, boy, oh boy, it went viral for all the wrong reasons.
He's laughing back there.
For all the wrong reasons. And, man, I never told somebody, get out the whip, man, get out the car. And he stayed for the action and witnessed horror. We got to ask him this. This is great. But, of course, guys, you know him as the Giants beat reporter, man. And of course, you know him from the Believe Network, man, with Talking Ball with Pat Leonard. I said his name. You guys know him. Our brother, your brother, Mr. Pat Leonard. Round of applause! Round of applause! Round of applause! Round of applause, my brother Pat. Thank you for coming back. A lot of people were like, man, I don't think Pat's ever going to come back to New York Revival. So, hey, you are. What's going on,
Glutton for punishment.
I'm back, man. Eli, Hefe, Mr. Glass. Great to be here, man. Hefe, that's the first fist bump as a New York Giant for Abdul Carter, correct?
Wow.
I believe so. On the
All right,
record,
man.
thank you. It's official.
Hey, man, when he goes all pro and gold jacket, that's going to be more than just a footnote. I'm telling you.
I don't want to take credit for it, but I was part of the process. Yeah, I was there.
Exactly.
Did I invent
Thanks for
it?
having me on, guys.
No, but
so happy to be back here, man. So happy to be
Thanks
back
for
here.
being
Thank you for coming back, brother. But listen, man, of course, we got to put you in the hot seat because there was a lot of pressure the last time. So I figured, why the hell not? Pat, don't be scared, but it's a serious here, okay?
All right.
100 men versus one gorilla. Who you got winning, man? This is the talk of the town on X. So we got to ask Pat the first question here. This is important, man. What you got?
I'll take the gorilla.
Wow.
You're taking the gorilla.
No doubt.
You know what? Seems to be the consensus. I mean, does anybody oppose? Is anybody
the numbers are staggering, but there are going to be casualties. I mean, it is so many, but a dozen aren't coming back from that fight.
No.
They're gonna see one guy's head get ripped right off from his body. They're gonna go running. I'm telling you right now.
Like how do you hurt?
Style.
How do you hurt a gorilla? There's no weapons.
Yeah,
you're talking about piling on. Pat, obviously this is what you came here to talk about. So
100%. Yeah. 100%. Yeah, well, who's going to be the first person to step towards the gorilla?
Exactly.
That's it.
The answer is nobody. That's the answer. And then you're going to be chased, and then, that's how the gorilla
It's got to be a Squid Games kind of deal where everybody, like, you either die, by quitting or you got to get in the ring. So that's what it's got to be. And just someone's got to choke him out, right? Anyway, we'll talk a little bit about this more.
It ain't happening.
It's not. No.
But guys, of course, we got Pat here, man. We got to talk about the good stuff, the nice stuff, the New York Giants draft, man. First things first, Pat.
Ooh.
What is your grade on the Giants, man? Because a lot of fans, of course, are happy with this. But one thing, Pat, that reason why we called you back on too, because the fans really wanted that honest, raw and uncut opinion from you, because that's what you're known for. So give us your thoughts, man. What would you grade Joe Shane and company in that draft here?
Well, I'll give them a B or a B plus. And that, I know a lot of people are giving the Giants an A, and me giving them a B or a B plus isn't saying I didn't like the draft. It's just saying I like to, even if I approve of what the team did or what value they got, I think judging things as wins or losses at this time of year is silly, because a lot of us don't fully understand the players, their usage and how it projects, how immediately they're going to be able to help. And then also, frankly, you look at this, you look at last year's draft, right? We're still debating in Giants Nation about what kind of draft that is. There's some promise, there's some peaks and some valleys. You have some people who think that the Giants hit every pick of last year's draft out of the park. And then there's people like me who see some pluses, some minuses, some growth, some room for growth in certain players. There's no question, though, guys, that night one and how Joe handled that, how the Giants were able to get those two players in those spots, there's no doubt that where they are, where Joe Shane was going into that evening, that you have to go to sleep that night going into Friday feeling good about it. And then when you hear about value they're getting, particularly Marcus Bowe, the Purdue tackle, down in the 5th round, Joe Shane was saying in that post-game press or the post-draft press conference that he was getting texts from GMs around the league saying, man, I can't believe you got him there. Usually you kind of roll your eyes at comments like that because it's like, oh, yeah, of course, here we go again. We always say that about 5th round picks. But you talk to people around the league, that was true about that player. And so, it's hard to dislike anything about this draft at the moment, but I'm leaving some room in my grade for, will Jackson Dart be what the Giants think he's going to be? Will Carter make an immediate impact because Daboll and Shane need him to? Still room to see if that's going to happen or not.
Awesome. Guys, get in here, man. Any questions? I got a ton more.
Yeah, so, I mean, they were coming at this quarterback with a draft. Sorry, they were coming out of this draft with a quarterback, hell or high water, right? Like, was that like the main focus? Is that what they sold ownership on, that they were coming away with a quarterback? Or is that the gist that you got, or it just felt that way?
It became that. Obviously, you know, the Matthew Stafford pursuit was extremely real, and there were points where the Giants very much believed that was happening. And so there were, of course, different layers to the quarterback plan this offseason. But certainly once they pivoted to trying to trade up to 1 for Cam Ward, they weren't able to make that happen. But right then and there, you can see the commitment to not only Ward in that spot, trying to give up the next year's first, but also the commitment to getting whoever the top QB is on their board at the appropriate value. So Joe Shane at the owners meetings, like when he said to us at the owners meetings, if it's not, the value's not there, I don't have to draft one. He meant it. But when you talk to him a week before the draft, which we did in East Rutherford in the auditorium there, to me, it became clear, guys, that he didn't want to be forced into taking a quarterback, but he knew he had to. And so coming out of that, it was, okay, here's the general manager, Joe Shane, who means what he says about, I don't want to draft above the player's value on my board. But you could understand, talking to sources and listening to him and understanding the lay of the land with the Giants, that he had to come out with somebody. And so it's a fascinating, though, ripple effect on how they end up on Jackson Dart and not Shedeur Sanders, on how they make Dart happen. And what if Dart didn't happen? Would Shedeur have happened? Right? There's all these like kind of revolving open and shut doors where different scenarios where the Giants night could have ended up differently, but they ended up getting their guy in the end in this scenario going into that night. And so, you know, I think you guys tell me, how much differently do you feel now about them? Because it's not Russell Wilson, Jameis, and Tommy and a third rounder. It's Russell Wilson, Jameis, Jackson Dart, the future franchise quarterback, and Tommy. Like, how much differently do you feel right now?
Very different.
Seems like the whole fan base has been flipped around, and there's enthusiasm and there's excitement again. And to get that Carter, right, it was kind of not an easy swing, but almost like I liken it to the neighbor's pick. Like a great player was sitting there, you took him. It doesn't take a genius to take him, but I think getting Dart and then everything that happened after that just seemed to, for once, fall in our lap. Obviously, you got to see how they play, how it pans out. But getting the defensive tackle, that's like, it's everything Spiro's been talking about basically for the last several months. You're going to get a defensive tackle. You're going to get a guard later on. You're going to get a running back in the middle rounds. And everything panned out. It was almost a chalk, right? It was exactly what we expected, but getting players almost a round later than you thought you could. And so a lot of Giants fans left feeling like we got great value. There's potential. The team got better, a lot better. We weren't taking like wild swings on players or overreaching. It just seemed to break our way for one. So, I mean, for one, I'm feeling definitely better after the draft.
And don't forget, too, that a lot of people wanted an answer at quarterback, right? Because we had rentals in Jameis Winston and of course, a one-year contract on Russell Wilson. So a lot of fans was like, man, you got to kind of get somebody in here that can be the future of your franchise. And the Giants got him. And I think the value was there as far as trading back into the first round to get them. So I think fans are more excited about that they haven't answered there. This is not a big question mark whether Tommy DeVito is going to be a starter in the near future, you know. So I think that's what fans are really excited about. I mean, I'm excited about because I'm like, man, you finally got something there. Again, he has to play. He has to do well. He has to perform. We understand all of that stuff. But the fact that Joe Shane actually did it, and again, we can go through who was the best as far as ranking the Cam Wards, the Shedeur Sanders, and the Jackson Darts. We'll go through that a little bit later. But the Giants addressed a need, and as far as the value, it was there, man. So I think that's why fans are really excited about it. Speed, you got anything else?
Last thing to say on it, fans just wanted us to take a swing, right? They wanted Joe Shane not to send with the bat on his shoulder for the last time and potentially go out swinging with Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. You had to go down swinging and get a guy. And it had to be a first or second round guy, right? Like, I think if we waited any longer, like you said, Pat, like it kind of would have taken the luster off of it a little bit. But now it's a certified, this is the guy they wanted. They went up and got him. They were not waiting around, whether they got intel or not. It doesn't even matter for me anymore. Whether it was at 34 or at 25, they got the guy they wanted. And so I, for one, was just happy that they got their guy. And now we could just put that to rest for a little bit.
So,
and if you believe in Daboll and Shane, They had to get this guy. They had to get this guy to stick around.
Pat, the interesting thing now is you got Jackson Dart. They made that move. We expect Russell Wilson to start, obviously. Jackson Dart is almost like they're planning to keep their jobs for the long term. So it's like if the Giants are hanging around mediocre, they have to see Jackson Dart to like kind of prove that he was the right pick. At this point, I almost want to give him two years to see this plan through, because it would be silly to take Jackson Dart and then not get to play him. But you're probably going to see him more if the Giants are bad. So it's kind of a weird situation still.
That's a really good point. I'm glad you brought that up. That's exactly where my mind was going next, is drafting Jackson and the promise that he offers, right, as the future franchise. And like you said, they've already said, hey, this is going to be a developmental thing.
Right.
Daboll hammered the under on mentioning Josh Allen in comparison to Jackson Dart. I mean, it didn't even last the weekend. But you look at this and you say, the level of competence that Daboll and the team and Joe Shane's roster needs to reach, it shouldn't take much now for them to get, to your point, to a mediocre level where you see either more promise in some of the players, better coaching from Daboll, whether it's managing the game or play calling on offense. Maybe he does shock everyone and hand something off to Mike Kafka. Don't hold your breath. But you get to the point where if the Giants are halfway through the season and, if they're 6-4 at week 10 or, something like that, then you're absolutely right. You got the 5-year contract. You got the rookie quarterback who's developing but hasn't played yet. The Giants are still in the hunt, right? Like, it's obvious that they're coming back in 2026. And frankly, it's going to be very difficult for Joe Shane to not be back. The flip side of it is, to your point, it's like, wait, if we see Dart early, it's going to be because the team is losing and looks awful and the quarterback looks awful with Russell Wilson. So it still could cave in. It just does feel like, to your point, the pie chart feels a little bit more in their favor now of getting through the 2026 season than it did before the draft.
Totally agree. And Pat, there's a lot of talk and et cetera about the Giants being linked to Shedeur Sanders. They had him as the top ranking quarterback coming out in the draft, of course, next to Cam Ward, like a 1A, 1B scenario. But a lot of Giants fans was pretty much shocked that they didn't take Shedeur, and it was Jackson Dart. We just want to know some inside information a little bit. All the stuff that came out with Shedeur and the controversy and et cetera, was that true in a way as far as him not paying attention to or his arrogance or not looking at a booklet or et cetera that a team may have given to him? Is there any validity to that particular situation with Shedeur Sanders?
Yes, there is. Yes, it's true. But the other thing is, what was funny is during the process, as I was starting to hear, there were reports, there were things I heard on my own about Shedeur, how he was handling himself throughout the process, how Dion was handling it. There were some people in the NFL, though, who would tell you stories about that. There were others who would say, Pat, that may be true, but you know what also is true is he can't make the deep out throw consistently. And they said, you look at him at his pro day and watch him throw the deep outs. The ball's wobbling. It's taking too long to get there. And so I don't care who he is or what you think of him. If he can't make that throw, I'm not drafting him. And so there were a lot of people in the league who felt that way. So when he started to fall, it wasn't surprising. I mean, it was surprising how far he fell, but it wasn't surprising. Like, actually, when Antoine Staley and I built our mock draft, I can't cover all the mock drafts. So I don't know if we get credit for this. We did just a first round mock where we alternated picks. We had a 32 round first round mock with no Shedeur Sanders in it. And then because we didn't do any trades. And then finally we were talking and I said, should we make a trade up into the first from Cleveland from 33 just to add his name in here? But we were close to dropping him out because of all the intel that we were getting. And one of the pieces of intel, though, that makes this so fascinating, which I alluded to earlier, guys, is there were people in the Giants building who still wanted Shedeur Sanders, who still had a lot of love for Shedeur Sanders. I was on a phone call with someone in the Giants building, I would say, I think it was about 3 hours before the draft. And, I knew going back to late March into early April, prior to me writing the story on Jackson Dart, I knew that he was their guy. Like, he was their number one, assuming the Cam Ward thing wasn't happening, which it wasn't. But with Shedeur, there were still people in the building, including this person I was on the phone with 3 hours before the draft. I said, if Dart doesn't happen, is there a chance you guys come out of this evening with Shedeur Sanders as your quarterback? And this person said, yes.
Wow.
So this is what's so fascinating about the Giants. Now, again, that doesn't mean like, yes, they were going for Dart. They were trying to get Dart. That was the plan. But there was enough love in their building for Shedeur that was a possibility, considered a possibility by certain key people in the building. And so that's why what's interesting too is that McShay revealing the specific story on Daboll and Shedeur, it's true and is one of the things that reflects poorly on Shedeur. Also is very interesting that got leaked. And I know, listen, I can't sit here with 100% certainty. I wasn't on the phone when McShay was being told this, but I know a lot of people in the league view that as Brian Daboll telling McShay prior to the draft on record, I want it out there that this is not my guy. So that's kind of how that's viewed by some people in the league. And that brings up the whole interesting dynamic of how they got to Dart, which really, in long story short, is, Shane and a lot of other people had a lot of love for Shedeur. And then things, including that first meeting with Daboll and Shedeur, start flipping it, as well as Shane and Daboll liking Dart, but Daboll really warming to Dart. And then that accelerated scouting process right after the combine, solidifying it.
So Daboll was all in on Dart. That was his guy?
Yes. So Daboll was texting with Dart daily. And in fact, and I'm
coming on a little strong there, Dabes.
Not to, so here's the thing. Like, now again, I don't know. I can't tell you that this is why, but do you remember when Dart said that Daboll was texting him all the time and then he stopped 2 weeks before the draft?
Yes.
Yeah,
that was
absolutely.
when my Sunday story ran that the Giants wanted Dart, but they might not get to him. So, I almost wonder if, they were like, oh crap. Like, we don't want anybody thinking that we want this guy, let's back off. But yes, so Daboll warmed to Dart. And really, that's kind of what happened is, and I think in hindsight, you look back at it, I think what they did there was they said, let's dive into this prospect that our coach loves now right away. So the schedule and the calendar of the top 30s and all those visits, and as we start tracking them really close to the draft, as you saw with Shedeur and Milroe and Shuck, what the Giants did is they had a meeting with Dart at the Senior Bowl. And that was a good amount of time spent there. After that combine where they see him throw, they meet with him. He comes right out to New Jersey, like very shortly after the combine, and does his top 30. And then in mid-March, they send their full contingent, everybody, down to Ole Miss and do their private workout for him there. So that was kind of accelerated compared to the work they were doing on a lot of other guys, almost like let's get it out of the way and out of the news cycle before we end up coming down the pike at the end. But you saw the late workouts with all those guys. They didn't do that, just for kicks. They did it to further vet those players, especially Shedeur, as a person, a coach. Is he coachable? Is this a guy we could work with if we can't get to Dart, as like a plan C behind Ward and Dart?
Ooh, good stuff, man.
Crazy. Crazy.
Guys, let's get to the super chat really quick, man. I know we got some.
Holy shit, a super chat.
All right, half is your turn, baby. What we got?
All right, first, Chris Peace. Thank you, brother. What's the plan for the next draft? Assuming you mean us and not the Giants.
Yes.
Yes. And that's going to be in Pittsburgh, and that's a drive. So, like, we were hardly out of the Green Bay draft, and we were like, this is our thing. We're doing this every year. This was way too much fun. And it would have been enough fun just to go to the party, like part of it, and just be part of the experience and see like a legendary stadium like that. But the fact that we had the media passes was just the icing on the cake, and what a day. But we had so much fun, and we want to do way more events after doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
Oh, yeah.
Pat, you've probably seen on Twitter, there is a whole movement for fan of the year voting. I don't know if you've seen this, and shout out to Sal with the big super. We appreciate you, bro.
Sal.
Will you do the right thing and support the cause? Do you have any idea what I'm talking about? First of all, help the campaign. # vote for Momo, fan of the year.
I know about the fan of the year stuff. My guy Joey B, who's always jumping in on Talking Ball,
Joey B comedy
Yeah,
Joey B. Yeah,
I'm always I'm a big fan of Joey B, but Momo, big fan as well. I guess I can't play favorites with all these diehards who like give so much, but yeah, I would go with Joey B, just to be honest, ride or die with my guy. He came out to actually, speaking of Pittsburgh, I did my first Talking Ball meetup on the road for Giants Steelers last year, and Joey came through to that. So that's where my allegiance lies at the moment, but I can
Sal.
I can be convinced otherwise.
That's where it's at. So, guys, we caught up to all the supers here.
Oh no,
he was afraid you were going to support. He doesn't want this. Fans are making this happen, and so now he's happy.
There it is. But guys, really quick, man. Of course, Pat, a lot of stuff coming out of there. You recently wrote an article that the front office and the personnel seem to be on different pages and odds with the coaching staff. You mind kind of expanding a little bit on that, brother, if you can? That is.
Oh, of course, yeah. So basically, the thing that everybody should look at optically, so like all this behind the scenes, anonymous stuff, what you could see with your own eyes, and you don't need me to. I can contextualize it for you, but on Black Monday, there was a very telling moment or exchange there where Mara comes out and he does put them both on notice. But if you listen to what he said, he essentially said he likes Joe Shane's process despite the roster not being any better. And then he goes over, like, there's this laundry list of things that Brian Daboll needs to fix, and he wants to see him giving up play calling. And so coming out of that Friday meeting that Shane and Daboll had before Mara decided not to fire anybody, Daboll then comes up to a podium by himself in the training center practice facility in the indoor bubble. And it was very unusual because Shane and Daboll are super optically aware, and they consistently, as you saw them return to during the draft, they sit together at the dais. They want to present, we are a package deal. We are aligned. We are collaborative. And they were when they came in. And that, if you remember, that was the kind of the whole talking point from John Mara and the Giants coming off the Joe Judge Gettleman era was, we need a more collaborative pairing, people who work together. I mean, they arranged that marriage, and Gettleman was the reason for no communication. But anyway, let's not talk about that. So let's go back to where we are now. And coming out of this season, Daboll decides to speak on his own. He's short with us. He's terse. He's making clear that basically, I was kind of put under the microscope here, and I don't appreciate it. Shane then speaks on his own in the auditorium and does his own separate press conference. And talking to people coming out of that was something that a lot of people inside the building and outside the building noticed. And as I dug a little deeper, I found going into January, February, and into the offseason and the draft process that people were telling me that they were functioning. So the head coach and the general manager were functioning more as separate entities than they ever had previously during their tenure and during their regime. Why? Well, as a couple different sources told me, coming out of the season, and so now this take us back to Friday, Monday, John Mara saying what he said, there were people in the personnel department who were hoping that the coaching staff was going to get turned over because they viewed it as, if you retain Daboll and the staff, now we can't make an argument for resetting the clock. We're kind of tied at the hip here. And obviously Daboll has had his struggles with running the team, whether it was with Martindale, Shane being on the headsets, observing the dynamic. And then obviously everything we saw with last year's disastrous 3-14 season, he can't figure out the offense, etc. So let me explain it this way. I know that the coaching staff, that people in the organization on the personnel side in the front office wanted the coaches fired. So the coaches know that too. And so that's the tense environment and dynamic that they went into this draft process working on. And it actually makes it impressive that they got to the point where they collaborated.
Agreed, yeah.
And shifted their quarterback, because really Shane went from Sanders to Dart in large part because of the work Daboll was doing. Mm-hmm. And so despite that, they get through that mess and hopefully ended up making anyway the best decision for the organization.
It's wild. Yeah, it seems like maybe they might come out of it.
That's right, Speed.
Yeah, better for it. They maybe it was a bonding experience. Whatever they did, they got through it. And now they're on the other side of it. But like, there were some rumors coming out right before the draft. It's like, how are these leaks getting out? Why is it the Giants again? Like, you just got that sinking feeling. And then the first round went as good as it did, and it kind of everybody just exhaled, and it just set the precedence for the rest of the draft, and it was awesome to watch.
Well, there is something to watch too, which I mentioned McShay reporting that on Daboll with Shedeur. That is viewed by some people in the league as Daboll kind of taking his shot. And then if you listen to Shane after the draft, he said something about, yeah, we look good on paper, but now we have to put it all together on the field, the coaches, the players, et cetera. So there's still this subtle jockeying back and forth of, hey, my roster looks pretty good. Let's see if we can coach it up, right? And then the coach on the other side saying, glad we took this quarterback and I was able to steer us here, right? So that's kind of still happening as we see.
Wow, that's insane. Guys, of course, we got some super chats here for our guest, Pat Leonard, guys. If you don't mind, let's get to them.
Let's get caught up here. Chris Peace again.
Send him in. He's sticking with that Momo.
They did get Carl Banks on board. I saw that. That's a big guy to have on your campaign there. Thank you, Chris Peace. This is really good.
Good one. This is a good one.
How short is the leash for Shane Bowen, considering the weapons he has? I have thoughts, but we're here for Pat. What do you want to hear
Pat's thoughts?
No, Hefe, I want to hear you first. What
if you can't cook with this much fucking talent, get out of the way. Like, I hate to say this because I know it didn't work. He was bashing heads with Daboll, but imagine Wink with all this talent sending fucking Abdul Carter from every direction. Wink would have this a top 5 defense. I have no doubt in my mind. So 100%. Bowen, step the fuck up. Is how I feel.
He was, but also Shane Bowen was playing with Wink's players last year, right? This is now you've added pieces. They got another free agency, another draft with all Shane Bowen's pieces. Now you like to think that he signed off on most of these guys, right? So if you can't cook with your own guys now, this is all you now. Shane, you better be out. I think Pat, you tell us how long you think his leash is.
No, well, so I think there's truth to what you said for sure. I don't think it's unfair to say, hey, like we have more talent, it should look better. I do think, like, I resist coming out of draft weekend saying now the pressure for the Giants is on. So wait, not the GM and coach who had them 3-14 last year and had the roster in shambles and ran the last DC who you wish was still here out of the building. We're putting the pressure on Shane Bowen, the 4th choice as DC 2 years ago, right? Like, so I would resist saying like, hey, if our team doesn't succeed this year, it's going to be because of Shane Bowen. Like, so the blame game, again, it goes back to Shane, Daboll, like where's the finger pointing? Where is it not? So because of that dynamic, I resist that. But in the vacuum of your question of, we should see more here from this talent and Bowen needs to unleash it and unlock it. No doubt about it. And I think when you look at the scheme and what Bowen was able to do last year versus, like you said, the variable nature of the blitz packages and the pressures and attacking protections that Martindale knew how to do with a lot less talent than we saw on the field even last year with the Giants, Bowen is going to have to evolve. He's going to have to be more multiple, more creative, more in the moment, smart about calls and attacking specific strategies of the opposing offensive coordinator. It takes film study. It takes pulling guys on and off the field to assemble the right personnel packages. I think that one thing that Martindale did better than anybody, I just mentioned it, but it deserves its own moment. His defense, and he specifically attacks protections. So when you say send Abdul Carter from off ball on a blitz, right? In Shane Bowen's defense, it's a standard kind of alignment with those two safeties. And then you're seeing variability out of that. But with Martindale, what he's focused on is not how I'm using my players. It's I've studied your offensive line and your offense. I know how you like to block the plays you like to run on 3rd and long, on 2nd and short, or whatever it is. And so he's sending his blitzes. Jason Pinnock was a great example of a player he used very well at this. He's sending his blitzes, not just the player and identifying the skills, Isaiah Simmons, Pinnock, et cetera, but also at the specific right guard who he knows struggles in those situations, or maybe somebody's pulling and you're attacking that, this other offensive lineman's not getting over. So that's what Bowen needs to do too, is get better at those in the moment. Now, I think it centers on Abdul Carter and his usage as far as what you're unlocking. Because frankly, guys, Javon Holland, talented player. We don't know what he's going to be. Paulson Adebo, is he going to be healthy enough? Is he going to be shut down? We don't know. But what we do know is that Carter on this defensive front, and you add Alexander as well, should improve not just the run defense, but also just your ability to create more from the DC spot.
Right.
And in fairness, the offense was so bad last year that always obviously hurts the defense, right? Like we've seen it for years that our defense is just gassed in the fourth quarter. They hang around all game and then they just run out of gas. They let up 2 scores and it looks like a blowout when it really wasn't. If our offense was just mediocre, we'd be in all these games. Eli, you were going to say something?
Yeah, actually, I think we have one more question in the super. Then I got one more question, of course, for Pat before he gets out of here.
Yep, we got 2 ones.
D-Kit, sorry about that. D-Kit says, thank you first of all for the super.
Hey,
Thank you, Pat. Expectations.
D-Kit.
Yeah, he's the best. He's the best.
Yeah.
They're drastically different as a result of a good free agency period and a good draft. Moral victories or competitive losses won't be enough to prevent change of another 6 or less win season. Do you agree? It's got to be like you have to show something. It can't be just have hope in us anymore. They have to get to a certain mark, right? Is that the prevailing thought?
Yeah, I think to D-Kit's point, like enjoy the optimism of the draft because the schedule's about to come out.
Yeah.
And their schedule's just brutal. It's just brutal. And they haven't proven they can win. So yeah, no, he's absolutely right. I think like we said earlier, the line that they need to get to show some confidence and get to the second year of this 2-year window now does seem like it's easier to reach now because of some of the promise and some of the talent they've added, but they have to do it and they have to start fast. What's the win number they have to get to? I'll be honest, guys. I'm not saying this to be like a troll to John Mara or anything. Coming out of his Black Monday presser, I don't know what his barometer is anymore. Like, when people say, what's it going to take for them to get to 2026? Usually you guys and I could look each other in the eye and say, well, we know because of precedent, and this is how John Mara thinks, and this is what he believes, and this is what's acceptable. Frankly, this is just my opinion. The fact that they accepted last year's result and retained those 2 people in those positions tells me that anything's on the table. Like, who knows? I mean, honestly, if that tells me that they're just going to keep them if they feel like it. But I do think that they need to get to a level of competence early enough in the season that then you're not just thinking about doomsday. Like, they have to get past Halloween and push towards Thanksgiving, thinking about a team that's still in it.
And their whole shtick was, we just needed a quarterback, right? So if you got your quarterbacks now, several quarterbacks, if you're hanging your hat on, we just need this one position, and you don't have anything to show for it, then I'd hope that the heat under their seat is turned a little bit. But like you said, this is uncharted waters right now. We don't know. Like, they shouldn't have been back here in the first place. So who the hell knows what happens?
House money.
Yeah, right. We have one more super chat. Monty, our faithful Monty, the best.
Monty.
He said, hey, I don't know if you know this, but do we know that did Joe Shane go to bat for Daboll, or was it like every man for themselves in there?
Battle Royale. It seemed like everyone was in survivor mode over there.
Exactly. I don't think it was a I'm dying on this hill and if Brian goes, I go situation.
Right.
No, I did not.
Say no more. And Pat, of course, man, one last question. We thank you so much for your time, man. We do appreciate you, brother. But the biggest concern that you have for the Giants, the 2025-2026 Giants, what's the biggest concern that you have for them going into the season?
Offensive line, not even a question. I think that I do not share Joe Shane and the Giants' opinion that if Andrew Thomas doesn't get hurt, their line's fine. I think it really concerns me when I look at the build of it. You look at how in their last 3 drafts, they've only taken 2 offensive linemen, and it's Schmitz in the 2nd round a couple years ago, and then Bo in the 5th this year. I know they spent a bunch of money last year, right? Illuminor, Runyon, they bring in Van Roten late. You have Thomas there. You're going to kick Evan Neal to guard. You have Jake Kubas in there. You're going to throw a bunch at the wall and hope to see what sticks. to me, though, guys, I would have just attacked the O-line way more, not only last year, but this year too. Hope is not a strategy. And I just, I know they signed a couple swing tackles. They got Hudson in here. I'm going to believe it when I see it. And even though Daniel Jones had his mistake, his setbacks, he had the turnovers, he panics under pressure, those types of things. And there were plenty of reasons why in the end, it's like, okay, we're moving on. He was much more mobile than Russell Wilson is going to be if he faces the same kind of pressure that Daniel did. And Jameis is not a runner. So it'll be interesting because if they don't protect well, this quarterback is less equipped to handle that than Daniel is. So does that end up pushing Jackson Dart closer up the board to when he sees his first snaps because he's the clear best combination of a running quarterback and promise at the position? That kind of rounds us back to where we started, which is I always tell people this because it is 100% true. Like last year, Michael Penix Jr. gets drafted, even though they pay Kirk Cousins in Atlanta. I was talking to people in the league. I said, mark my words. I don't know how or why this is going to happen. This guy is going to start games this year. It always happens. When teams draft guys in the first round, it always happens, even if they don't intend to. Dart will start games this year. And remember, Daboll compares him to Josh Allen. Whether it was the plan or not, Josh Allen played in the second half of the first game of his rookie year after Nathan Peterman threw 2 interceptions in the first half against Wink Martindale's Baltimore Ravens.
Wow.
Defense.
Wow. Fun fact. So
where does this bring us? It brings us to, if you start with, I don't know, the Commanders, the Rams, and, throw one of the other teams in there. The Giants could be looking at 1-2 or 1-3 or whatever it happens. How long until Brian Daboll says, let's get this guy in here? We're not protecting Russ well enough. We need this mobility. That's going to be the fascinating part of that first month of the season.
Job preservation starts coming into effect, right? It's like, where's his loyalties now? It's like, hey, I got this rookie QB's got to show something, or else I'm cooked. So
that's the one scenario I don't want to see is Jackson Dart thrown in there before he's ready and he fails because he's not ready, and then it's all blown up. Everything's
I really hope that the fact that we have 2 veterans. Like if Russ is really struggling, and I know it's a line thing, but like maybe they still have Jameis to maybe throw in there
if
Russ buy you some time.
Or if Russ gets hurt early, go to Jameis. Try to run a pro offense before throwing your rookie in there because it's hard to go back from that.
Totally agree.
If he fails.
And Pat, thank you so much for your time, man. Please, if you can, tell the people where they can find you, man. They should know this by now. They know I got Pat Leonard. Just say
Yeah. We're talking ball with Pat Leonard on YouTube. PL on NFL is the handle there. We do our live chats. We have guests, Benny Fowler, Super Bowl champion, former NFL wide receiver, co-host with me there now. Had a lot of fun guests on lately, a lot more coming up as well. I think I'm going live again this Thursday. So if you guys subscribe there, you should get that notification that I'm going live, trying to produce quality content like you guys here over at Revival. And then also at the Daily News, nydailynews.com. Of course, that's where I'm at. And then on X, P Leonard, NYDN. So, thrilled to be on here, guys. I love talking to you guys, and you guys are super entertaining, informative, and that was awesome seeing you at the draft. I mean, I'm sure you got 1,000 stories from it, but I'm curious what your top story is from the draft, your top personal experiences from it, because you looked like you were having a blast, and it was enjoyable to watch your content from there because you clearly loved it.
Listen, before you go, if you want to stick around for it, brother, it's all up to you. We don't mind. I think it's something really quick. Top, what did you go? I'll go with you, Speed. What you got, man? Your top?
I mean, walking into the media room was like a surreal experience. Got three dudes with a couple of hoodies on, and just everybody's hard at work. We come in loud, having fun from outside, and sitting at the wrong table. But also by the end of the whole thing, like we kind of made friends with the whole room. They're like, look at these guys, they're having fun. So like that whole like start to finish experience there kind of was like we made it moment, kind of surreal outer body experience that I don't think I'll ever get back again. Like experiencing that. That was amazing for me.
That's awesome.
And that's a good point. Yeah, to piggyback a little bit too, if you don't mind, Hef. I'm sorry. But you're absolutely right. I think that was the top moment for me. It's walking into that media room, but not knowing how we're, presented amongst the people there. Because we were a bunch of kids in hoodies, not kids, we're old people. Right. We was a bunch of people in hoodies.
We just act like kids, yeah.
Yeah, right. We were underdressed because everyone had suits on and blazers. But then the aha moment came, or that, okay, we did the right thing moment. And it was weird because I went to go use the restroom. And I went to go wash my hands, and some guys looking at me in the mirror. I'm like, hey, man, this ain't that type of party. I just want to wash my hands and go, sir. And he stops and he goes, hey, I just want to say, man, you guys are really standing out here. You guys look really like you're part of it. Like you just didn't really care what other people thought, and you just went for it. So I just want to give you kudos and a round of applause to you. And that right there made the moment for me. And I was just like, man, we arrived. Like that's we really did the right thing. So it was pretty cool, man, to step into them shoes like a Pat Leonard. Because one day we hope to be in your shoes one day, brother. And, hopefully we're making the right strides to do it. But it just felt amazing to get that kind of feedback right then in real time. So that was real
crushing it, man.
I think mine's obvious, like just the moment with Abdul Carter there. We moved our seats like just before that, not knowing where he was going to, like, it was just kind of like a thank you, God, for putting us here in this exact moment kind of thing. But the one thing I take away that I can't stop talking about is like these two guys, weren't afraid of any big moment there. Like as soon as we got there, we instantly started interviewing people around the party and making ourselves the party. And we went around and we feel like we owned that. And then going to the press conference, brand new situation for us. We've never been in that kind of situation. And just seeing Eli stand up confidently and ask his questions, it just raised the bar instantly. And seeing Spiro, this was all Spiro's idea. This whole thing was because of Spiro. So like seeing them step up their game just like makes you want to do the same. And so like that's what I take away from that. It's like it's not just all talk with these guys. Like they mean it, they believe it. And happy to just have this and be a part of it. So it's just all in all, just a phenomenal trip.
Awesome, man.
Pat, thank you so much, man. Hey, Pat, I just got to ask one question. I'm sorry, Pat. I promise it's the last one because I was just thinking.
All good.
How do you feel being the villain of the news report, like the beat reporters? Every time they talk about Pat Leonard, they're like, oh, Pat Leonard. I'm like, that's our brother, man. Like, that's our guy. How do you feel being the villain of the Giants community, brother? Do you thrive off that, or is it like, man, it's kind of crazy?
Well, I'll tell you what, Eli. So today when you guys advertised this again at our conversation, and that one guy said, "Oh yeah, Pat Leonard's just going to say Abdul Carter was a reach at 3." Yeah. I don't comment much because I try to stay away from all that stuff. It usually just backfires against you. Mm-hmm. You saw me fire back. I said, "Well, good. You know what I'm going to say. You don't have to watch anymore." I'm on one right now. Like,
let's go.
Gloves are off. I'm not holding back anymore. If people come at me, they should be ready with what's coming back. Like, because I'm done. I'm done. Especially because like here I am on draft night breaking the news of not only the trade up for Dart, you got the terms of the trade, and then you got from me who they're taking all before anybody else. And you in my mentions telling me that I don't like the Abdul Carter pick. Get out of my face.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, get out of my face. That's me.
About time. That's about time. I think you need to start clapping back at some people because you are the best. You're one of the best. Listen, and I say this all the time. Kadarius Toney won. He was on point. The draft and the trade, he was on point. Guys, he's on point. Whether you like it or not, he is on point with what he does. It may be uncomfortable for you guys to process at that moment. But Pat, I'm sorry, man. I'm just going on a tangent. I'm sorry. But Pat, it's about time you start clapping back and say, yo, I'm the best at what I do around these parts, man. So I'm glad you're doing that, man. Let them know because you definitely earned your spot. You deserve your spot. And you deserve your kudos too, man. Let the people know. Stop playing with you, Pat.
No, thank you. But you know what? I shouldn't focus as much on the haters. What I try to focus on is people like you guys who are not only great creators yourselves, but you're saying this out loud that you appreciate what I do. That matters more than anything because I don't need the validation of people who are looking to poke holes in what I say or who are just going to try to undermine whatever it is that I have or never acknowledge that, whatever. Stop acknowledging those people, Pat, and appreciate the people who are supporting you, who have your back. And that's guys like you, people who I respect you right back. And, I'll say this, man. Keep doing the stuff you did with this draft, because the number one thing that people will tell you in this business is, and most reporters forget it, the number one thing that matters is being there. Being there, because then all the opportunities open, they all happen, and you make it happen, but you got to be there to make it happen. But yeah, I'm fired up now. You got me fired up.
Yeah, dude.
Let's go.
Damn.
Let's go.
Hey,
Pat.
you have a lot of supporters in the chat too. Chat's been shouting you out, man. We all love you, and thank you again, Pat. Again, you got the keys to this joint, so you're always welcome over here, man.
Oh,
Absolutely, man.
anytime. Thank you, fellas, so much.
Focus on the good. You know what to do. Focus on the good. Keep doing what you do, because the cream rises to the top. You know, we know.
Appreciate it.
I'm sure we'll see you at training camp too, brother. I'm sure we'll see you at training camp. So we'll talk then, brother.
We got it. You guys gotta bring the podcast to training camp. Get a table set up.
That's it.
Oh yeah, I guess we
That's
can.
it. Done.
We can do that.
We'll talk about that offline. I'll try to make that happen.
We'll keep you going, Pat. We'll let you know. We got to sit at the table. I think that's a good idea. I appreciate you, brother, man. We'll talk soon. Thank you so much,
guys.
man.
Thank you, brother.
Easy, man.
Pat's the man, man. Pat's the man. Nothing but kind words, nothing but great words. That's a good man right there. You guys put some respect on my guy Pat Leonard's name. You dig what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to get Pat the hell out of here, because guys, we got another subject we got to talk about. Now I don't want Pat here. Because last time he was here, good lord! But let's catch up on
before you get to it. We gotta update the people here. Knicks are down 10 points in a game clinching fucking game at MSG. It's the third quarter, halfway through. They seem like they're down at this point every third quarter. But
this is what we do. And then Brunson,
we got them right where we want them.
Then Brunson.
And fun fact, not so fun fact. This would be the first series clinching victory at MSG since 1999. I put it out there this morning. It's wild, bro. It's been too long. Let's close this out. Let's get some rest. And we'll keep
I was kind of hoping you kept that to the vest a little bit, because I'm like, man, I want to say that after the fact, but you went with it, and I was like, I'm going to put it out.
Hey,
put it into the universe.
Earn it. Get that W.
Can I give you one more fun fact?
Yeah, please.
Brunson's got 30 points in the first 4 games of the playoffs this year. One other player has done that, and his name is Michael Jordan.
Crazy, dude.
And he's already, as Greeny went on a tangent about how he's the most clutch player in the NBA, and it was all just facts, dude. Facts on facts. We got a good one.
We need a lot more out of him, though, in this fourth quarter.
Listen, we're not trying to say he's Jordan. We're not trying to say that. It's just doing some things that are Jordan-esque. Okay?
You can't touch Jordan. For people of our age, you can't touch Jordan. You can't touch him.
Fuck no.
LeBron,
but Jalen's 3 for 12.
Ew.
Jordan's 3 for. I know Brunson's 3 for 12 today. So we need a little more. You, Jalen, just a little more.
It's because I turned the game off. Let me pull it back up.
It's the third quarter. We got enough game. It's the third quarter, guys. We got the third quarter. But guys, really quick, man, the people want to know, man, what happened to our draft experience and etc. Before we get to the topic at hand and we get canceled tomorrow. All right, let's talk about our draft experience, man. Let's do it. Really quick, man. I just wanted to let the people know, because we interviewed tons of people, tons of people. And unfortunately, our audio decided to quit on us. So we had to get rid of a lot of the audio that was there and trying to shorten that down. But just imagine, we still had 4 hours worth of footage that we shortened down to 4 minutes, guys. But we had a lot of behind the scenes access for you guys to let you know how we got there and etc. And our audio just went, see you later. So we are investing into hopefully ourselves and getting a better equipment for you guys. But yes, most of that stuff, man, behind the scenes was absolutely amazing. I think just the trip of getting there early in the morning for me, because again, guys, you guys know the story on how we met. We met online. We met online with another company.
Like everyone nowadays, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, like everybody. we swipe right, and here we go. We had a match.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think that's what it is. Is it white or left? I don't know what it is. But we swipe right, and we got a match here. You get what I'm saying? So going out with these guys, and again, we've been out before. Don't get it twisted, but being away from our families and etc. on a trip like this, a business one, guys, it was absolutely incredible. It was absolutely mind-blowing to get to this type of level that we've been fighting so hard for, and we're not done yet. And we're just like, yo, when's the next one? Like, we're so hungry to give you guys some more stuff, because you guys supported us. It's only right to give you back give it back to you. So, geez, listen, K-Mac, that was hilarious, man. It was, man. It really was. Listen, some of them played horrible.
You talking about me being a genius? Jeff is a genius when it comes to editing. Listen, it was our first rodeo, and we got some good stuff. The vibes. Listen, what we wanted to do though is just put out the video because you can get the vibes that we were bringing, right, and the vibes of the people that were there, and it was just electric. We found the most fun people that you find. Some of them, the drunkest people we could find. It doesn't matter. Like Aaron Rodgers lookalikes. We just went with our gut, and we just let's just run up this guy. Let's run up that guy. And we had some shitty mics, but we made the best of it. And I think we had the best of both worlds because right after we chug our beers, we button up the ties and walk into the press room. Dude, let's go to the presser.
I didn't get to bring that up with Pat, but the craziest part of that whole thing was going back and forth from the party to the press room. The first time walking in the media room was like, holy shit, this is so serious.
Goosebumps.
Yeah. But then after we got comfortable, we go back to the party, interview some people, have some drinks, go back to the media room. We did this 5 or 6 times, just back and forth. And to go from really partying to, and none of us, we were all business. We accomplished everything. I'm proud of us for that.
Right. We put on the game face. We instantly could change from party face to game face and a serious face. It was truly amazing. And listen, maybe it helped us a little bit with our popping on cherry in the press conferences. We were a little bit, a little bit more comfortable reaching out and saying something to these guys, but it all happened for a reason.
Yep.
Let me say one thing too, because you're right, because we was literally like Superman with it a little bit. We went out to party and was slurring and jumping, high-fiving, doing plays with other people's teams in there, drawing up for fake plays. We were high-fiving, having a good time. I love you, man. I love you, man. That was great. Then we're going in the media room. We're like, yes. So who's next to come out in the draft order? All right, awesome. Let's look at the program. Let's dissect this here. Hey, if you don't mind, just get out the way to the side there. We got to interview Abdul Carter. Then we go back outside. We're like, woo! It's just crazy.
Exactly right. Since I put the game back on, Nick's down 1, by the way. We're right back in this fucking game.
We're right there.
If you watch Spiro on that play he ran with the old school Green Bay Packers guys, he didn't know the play that was called. Poor guy.
I just block.
He looks like every Giant over the last 8 years. He just he just goes to block somebody, and then he's like, "Oh, it's a running play." He didn't finish his block, but in fairness,
when in doubt, just try and find someone to block. Right?
Just go hit somebody.
You don't know the play.
Go hit somebody.
Speaking of hitting somebody, how about the story about Cam Scatterbo, our new running back? Let's throw some pads on. He just went to throw some pads on and run into some telephone poles. The guy's a psycho, and I love it.
And I love
it. Tone setter.
It gives me that Jeremy Shockey vibe a little bit. That he's not afraid.
Yeah, Shockey, Jacobs, right?
Yeah. I think more Shockey though.
He's the right kind of crazy.
Yeah, he's the right kind of crazy. Brandon was crazy. Don't get me wrong.
He's white boy crazy. No, he's white boy crazy. There's
white boy crazy. There you go. See, now you get it.
Now you're starting to get this.
Now you're starting to get exactly where I'm coming from. You get what I'm saying?
I got you.
Yes, he was white boy crazy. He's running in the book. Come on.
Eli's like, thank you for saying it, so I didn't have to.
I got you.
Facts. Thank you, man. Thank you.
No, but see, it's pretty crazy, man. Going to Green Bay, we're driving around trying to find a spot, and typically as football fans, you're used to going to seeing parking lots, right? And we're going across all these houses, nice houses, by the way, but a normal fucking neighborhood, and it's like $100 for parking. $100 for parking, $150 for parking, $100, and it was just wild to see people just tailgating in their driveways while also putting up spots. And you could have 4 cars lined up on the grass and on the driveway, and it was just opportunity city, dude.
Yeah.
It just
Eli was right. We should have taken the $60 and
taken the $60, bro.
A light should have gone off when everyone was putting up $100, $120, $150. We're like, we should have known that they were that valuable because they fucking were. Because it took us an hour and a half to go 2 miles after this thing.
After the thing was one of the worst. Thank God we had thank God we had an awesome draft experience because nothing could have dampened what happened. But that last so 200,000 people, mind you, people in a small little Green Bay town with probably like about 15 Ubers, maybe max,
right.
and 200 people trying to get out of the same spot at the same time. It was kind of nuts, but all part of the experience. Because me and E got our Pizza Hut pizza, and we had a nice little end to our
and I had to watch you eat it.
Yes, just like so there.
I was like eating Eli's crust. Because I can't eat cheese.
I gotta eat the crust at least the crust.
Oh, shit.
What an experience. We had a great freaking time. But guys, we got one more topic, and let's get the hell out of here because we're already an hour in. Just let me know if you guys want to discuss it or not. But it's on the docket. All right. Saquon goes and visits the White House. And boy, it caused an uproar.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, I hate to see it because obviously his other team is, the rest of the team didn't go to the White House, whatever the case is, guys. But Saquon decided to go, man. So, of course, everybody's upset about it. But just want to get your thoughts, man. And I'm going to start with El Jefe. Throw you right to the fire, brother. We ain't playing. Right to the fire, brother. How you feel about it, man?
I didn't even know this was in the notes. Just to let you know how I feel about it. Nothing. I will not let anything like political ruin my day. Because I just think it's like the biggest bunch of horse shit in the entire world. So nothing but the only thing I take out of this is I hope it causes tension in their locker. Honestly, that's the extent of my feelings on this. Spiro, go ahead.
No, it's fair. It's just funny because I've had conversations because there's a lot of people. Half of my family's from Philly, so a lot of Eagle fans that are into politics, and they had certain feelings for Saquon about this. And, it's just going to be very interesting to see what everybody's thoughts are. Like, are they going to keep the same energy throughout next season when Saquon's, running for 200 yards again? It's going to be, we're happy with him on the field. We're happy with him on the field next year, but off the field, we're not happy with him. It's just, I always find that interesting, the dynamic of, how far do people go? How far do you want to get into somebody's life? And does that affect how much you root for them on your team if they're bringing your team success? So that's always fascinating to me. For me, I'm the same as Jeff. Politics never really was my thing. So I saw a guy take an opportunity to go golfing with the president. Maybe he had a story. We don't know what he said to it. Maybe he's got an agenda of like, hey, I'm going to talk to Trump and say what I have on my mind. We don't know. But he's being judged and attacked for a certain reason. And, I don't know. I'm going to stay out of that side of it, but it's just all fascinating to me at the very least. Maybe there's some little tension with the Super Bowl champs. Maybe it brings some talent.
That would be a shame. That would be the worst.
Real shame.
Let me say this, man. Let me say this, right? And if you don't want to go to the White House after you win a championship, that's your prerogative.
That's your right.
That's your thing, right? But you can't be upset at the person who wants to see the highest level of government, because not everyone gets to go play on the lawn of the White House. You know what I mean? Not everybody gets to explore certain areas of the room of the White House,
which Jalen Hurts already got to do, by the way, with Alabama. He's already been there.
Just saying, and again, some people take it as a once in a lifetime opportunity. So if Saquon decided to do something like that, who the hell are we to judge? I don't care what political party people is. I could give two rats ass. At the end of the day, we are human. All right. And we got to treat each other as such, because all the name calling and the BS from both parties, like calling each other, no, you did it first. Now I got to do it first. No, now you're doing it. Like, it's so bullshit. And the fact that people draw lines in the sand and expect people to stand on what their beliefs are is crock of shit and it's horse shit. And I don't like to curse because I kind of want to get this out and I want the people to hear what I had to say about it. But it is a crock. It's a crock of crap, man. You know what I mean? Stop drawing a line in the sand. At the end of the day, in order to listen to each other, we gotta respect and love one another as human beings first. Forget if you're Democrat, forget if you're Republican, forget if you're independent. It doesn't matter. In order for us to listen to each other, we have to make sure we are able to cross these certain barriers and lines and have these uncomfortable conversations until they become comfortable. It's just what it is. So if Saquon decided to go and do his thing, kudos, brother. I hope you had a good time, because I don't know what I'll do if I had that opportunity. But I do want to see the White House. I do want to see other places as part of America, in America as well. Who are you to judge my decision to go see a once in a lifetime opportunity thing happen to myself? Who are you?
That's the
Don't take
environment
that away
we're in,
from
man. I feel bad for some people because in the social media world that we are in, 10 years ago, no picture of him and Trump probably get out, and there's no controversy, right? But like this is the world we live in now. And when that came out, Saquon knew that had to know that this was coming on the other side, which stinks. But
both parties sounds like children. Both of them.
Yeah.
Both of them. And unfortunately, the one president that is everyone, guys, we believe it's a democratic system. People voted for him. If you're the person that lost, then so be it. It's what it is. The vote won. Popular vote won. All the people have spoken. So who the hell are we to sit here and just be soaking in pain because your guy didn't win? They didn't run the right campaign. It's just what it is. Just like if the other side had happened to. It's just what it is. But the minute we start cutting communication off from each other is where we lose. What are we gonna get it? You know how many people I lost? I was like, hey man, let's come together finally. You know how many people unfollowed me because of that? I mean, I don't lose sleep. I don't really care. But it's just asinine. It's just stupid. It's just stupid to me. Oh, I'm treating you as a human first before any political party. It's just mind blowing to me, man. But anyway, I'm done.
Anywho, listen.
I lost followers over a global warming joke.
Yes, I seen it. Ridiculous. This is the environment we live in, dude. Ridiculous. And that's what sucks is like you got to tread on water with every controversial topic that you have. And that's why we try to stay out of the trash, though. That's why we are here in the environment.
Let me say this: New York is in hell right now, right? Because it's a sanctuary city, and you got all these guys coming on here that could be gang members and that could hurt people. New York City's in shambles, right? But they won't do the right thing because a certain person's in power. Like, to me, it's just mind blowing. So for the sake of the people, you're not gonna do nothing because a certain person's in power. That makes no sense to me.
Right.
What kind of game we're playing with other people's lives? And these are the people we voted in. I could do this. I can run for politics and do something. I can do this and sit on my ass and do nothing for people.
Right on.
K-Mac asks, is this a bad time to ask if there's any strip clubs?
Definitely not. Definitely. We don't know.
He's like, political debate. What about titties?
Listen, not for nothing, guys. We were up for 20 hours. We didn't have time. And by the time we got, no lie, our eyes were blurry. We were shot. Dude. We were completely tired. Like, we actually went to sleep and just passed out and slept. I don't even know how long we slept, but we passed.
I tried to. Yeah, I tried to rally the troops, but I saw everybody's faces. And then once the Uber experience happened, I was like, you know what? This is the universe telling us, go to fuck to sleep.
Yeah. We had drinks waiting for us in the hotel. Didn't touch them. And then I forgot them there. That's all.
Then we proceeded to drink the shit out of the airport Chili's bar, and we had a good time.
Oh, that is great.
You know what? If we had those drinks in the hotel before we left, and then went to the Chicago bar where we had 7 hours to kill, we would have been crawling on.
Not on that flight. We wouldn't have gone on that flight.
No, we wouldn't. Listen, let me tell you, man. I didn't know conversations at the airport starts organically like that. You know how many people we met and we were talking about the draft. It was
the audience turned over so many times while we were sitting there. We met as many people at that Chili's bar than we did in Green Bay.
That's a fact, man. And we were putting on a show. I think we were putting on the show. We didn't even know it because everybody was like, "These guys are great." We're like, "Huh?" Like, just being us, I guess. Well, it was crazy.
Sorry, I just got the Knicks update. Knicks are up, so let's let everybody go. Let's get back to
Bartlett. Look out for the email, brother. I think when Jeff gets back that week, you're gonna jump on Revival, man, and
so
we're gonna make sure we do that. 2 weeks, yes, in 2 weeks, Bartlett. I think we have one more. I have to put the guest while you're not here. This way we can have Bartlett.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good.
Cool.
It's all good.
And
so we'll have a special guest next week, and then we'll have Bartlett on because I'm sure he wants to meet you, Hef.
I will be at Wrigley Field while you're doing the show next Tuesday.
Oh,
very cool. Very cool.
On you.
Enjoy the beers in the outfield for us.
Please.
And me, Eli, and hopefully Hefe, I hope all three of us are going to try to get to a damn Knicks game in round 2. We're going to be out there.
We got to.
Hell or high water. We're going to try and be out there.
You letting them know? You let them know?
I'm going to let them know. I'm letting them know we're trying because I know The
Damn, we ain't gonna try, baby. I'm telling you right now. Look at my eye.
See,
we gonna make
now.
This
I spurred something on him, Eli.
Oh yeah.
Whole trip. I spurred something on. We know that we know what we need to do now.
We gonna do it.
The people.
We
Pat said it too.
We gonna do it.
He's like, put yourself in a situation. Listen, guys, we didn't tell you too. We were so close to getting into the pit, get on TV too. It didn't work out, but the things that opened up for us while we were there and while you just talk to people, Pat is not lying. You just gotta be there, and the rest is history. You know, it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, let me know, man. Let me know all about NYG. Let me know, brother. Definitely, man. We'll definitely talk. Hit me in the DMs for sure.
Okay.
But yeah, the best food out there.
We didn't
have any. I wish.
Well, this is the tough part because we had some food in the media room, and then these two guys can't eat cheese. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, let's get some cheese curds.
He can't.
I just won't do cheese curds straight up. I can eat cheese, but no, I can't do cheese.
Dude, those are the two grossest words combined I've ever heard.
Curd does sound rough, but I heard it was great, and I missed the opportunity. But we're going back to Green Bay, hell or high water, because I want to be in the stadium next time. It looked like a fun time outside too. We had some drinks, before the draft. Cheese curds are next on the menu.
Let me just say this: they did serve the media food, guys. I just want to let you know. And can I be honest? And there's no disrespect, guys. They had a tofu steak, and I thought it was chicken. And when I bit into it, and I'm like, oh, this is tofu. Which means like, is it good? I'm like, it's delicious. Now, the reason why I said it was delicious. The reason why I said that is because I'm just in the media room. Really, guys? Listen, NFL, thank you. I'm not saying.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. It was
delicious. It was delicious. It was delicious.
You got an edit button on that thing?
Yeah, please. You're right. I apologize.
I muted him.
Did you just mute me?
You muted the host.
I just want to see if it works.
You cost us those press passes because of a food take.
Tofu burger.
I don't want the tofu. Okay, I'm sorry. It was tofu. I thought it was chicken.
Love you, NFL.
All right, but guys, yes. Let's get out of here. Watch the fourth quarter of this game, guys. It's your boy Eli Rash, aka Vibes, Speed the Genius right there, and of course my brother El Jefe. We'll see you guys on the next one. And thanks our special guest Pat Leonard. Hit the subscribe, thumbs up, man. Let people know we live. We love y'all. Peace and blessings.
New York Revival, I'm in the building.
Let's go.
Live with the Woodlard Roar!
Let's go.